Shimano pedals are renowned for their reliability, and left alone even for years at a time, the majority of the time you'll find that they last absolutely fine. However, as they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and I'm going to talk you through my super quick Shimano pedal service. Now what I'm going to talk you through applies to both Shimano road and mountain bike pedals, but I'm going to focus on my Ultegra road pedals because they've had a good few thousand kilometers worth of abuse. It's worth pointing out that Shimano's cheaper road and mountain bike pedals, instead of using a 17mm lock ring, they use this funny flanged arrangement. Shimano produces its own tool for removing this, but if push comes to shove, you can always just use a set of decent mole grips. And the following processes are exactly the same for these pedals. We need to first identify which pedal it is you're working on. So just to make things easy, I'm going to start with the non-drive side pedal, or the left pedal, and the lock ring that lets us access the axle is just regular threaded. It's worth noting that the drive side pedal is the opposite of this, so don't go mashing your lock ring. So to start, we're just going to give the pedal a little wipe down. It's not too critical, but you want to avoid any contamination, and it's best to do this before you remove the axle. We're just going to get roughly clean, make sure we get rid of any absolute filth. Lightly clamping your pedal into the vise, taking a 17mm spanner. This can be pretty tight, so avoid using an adjustable spanner. You definitely want to use a proper 17mm spanner, because otherwise you're, run the risk of rounding the lock ring, until we can easily remove the axle from the body of the pedal. And essentially what we're going to do is fill the body of the pedal up with grease, and when I replace the axle, we're going to flush out all this old nasty grease. I like to fill the pedal body up with as much grease as I can squeeze in there, and there's absolutely no harm in repeating this procedure twice if you want to be absolutely sure there's no dirt in there. Take the axle, you'll feel a little bit of resistance, and you should begin to see a little bit of it begin to escape from the side of the pedal. We'll just do that roughly finger tight, wipe it off, and now we're ready just to tighten this back up. Now, as we do this, we should begin to see all the nasty old grease squidge its way out of there. And we begin to bite. You're supposed to tighten this up to about 10 Newton meters. Obviously I've got a calibrated elbow, so I'm going to give it a very gentle snug up. We're pretty much good to go. Wipe off your old excess grease. And you should see you've got a whole bunch of nasty junk out of there. It's worth noting there is a small O-ring which sits just behind the lock ring, and depending on how much stuff gets pushed out, you might need to just pop that O-ring back in. So I like to just run the little spiky tool over the top of that. Give your pedal body a little wipe down to make sure you get the worst of the stuff off. And you should have a beautiful, silky smooth pedal that will run for many, many more years to come. A lot of people don't bother going through this process, but even if you do it once or twice a year, you're going to massively increase the longevity of your pedals. And given how simple it is, I think it's well worth doing.